Happy Friday, good people. Man, it's been a long day. We got snow here in Atlanta today, and it's been a crazy, crazy day. Man, I saw something come across my TV, and I saw that they were having hearings with the Supreme Court. TikTok was, because you all know that there's a ban on TikTok come January the 19th. And I'm like, they're really going forward with this. So, as you all know, just to kind of give you some historical context, President Biden has signed into a law for the ban on TikTok. And so they got, they had a certain couple of months to actually sell the company to an American company because the administration believed that TikTok was spying on Americans. They was using American data to spy on them. It was collecting data and just using that data for the wrong reasons, right? And so President Biden was just like, you know what, we got to put a stop to this. But there's one thing, there's a couple things that are important in this ban, right? I understand that America wants to, put a stop to, a Chinese owned company. I get that, which ByteDance owns a company and it's a Chinese owned company. And I understand that. But there's some American interest in this too. And I'm talking about at the billionaire level. So you got to realize TikTok, right? They have TikTok Shop. TikTok Shop competes against Amazon. Jeff Bezos owns Amazon. So there was some competition there from TikTok Shop against Amazon. So it was in Jeff Bezos' best interest to, throw some money out there. And I'm pretty sure, and I'm gonna go follow the money a little bit and go look on donorwatch.org and take a look to see, what money was Jeff Bezos giving to the Biden administration or any other administration for that fact, right? But there was competition. Got to remember this competition between TikTok Shop and Amazon. Now, let's fast forward here for a minute. So, Jeff Bezos also owns the Washington Post, right? So everyone's familiar with the Washington Post. That's a newspaper, right? And so Washington Post usually every election year they endorse a political candidate. And for the past couple of years, based on history, the Washington Post has been endorsing Democratic candidates. That's just a given. They've been endorsing Democrats. But this election year, the Washington Post didn't endorse anyone. The newspaper did not endorse anyone. Now, I want you to pay close attention to this. Now, why would the Washington Post, out of any other year, not endorse a political candidate? Why didn't they endorse the Democrats? Right? So I want you to read between the lines here. So they don't endorse the Democrats, right? So there might be some kind of hesitancy with Jeff Bezos probably feeling like, you know what, if I endorse Kamala Harris, right? If he endorses Kamala Harris, then that puts him in a position at odds with Trump, right? And if he is at odds with Trump, he's not going to be able to get any political favors. So his Washington Post paper just stands aside and not endorse anyone at all, right? So Trump wins the election. Now it's President-elect Trump. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Jeff Bezos has a meeting with President-elect Trump. Now, I don't, you can imagine what's going on in this meeting now. President-elect Trump has already come out and said, we need to push a pause on, blocking, TikTok in the United States, right? So he's talking about pressing a pause. But Jeff Bezos goes and meets with President-elect Trump. So I can imagine what this meeting is about, right? He's probably talking about TikTok. And TikTok, again, is his competition. TikTok Shop is Jeff Bezos' competition. Why? Because Jeff Bezos owns Amazon. So this is a threat to Amazon. So although Trump has come out and said that they need to hold off on a ban of banning TikTok out of America, but if Jeff Bezos goes and meets with this man and talks to him about pretty much, hey, we got to get TikTok Shop banned. And if Jeff Bezos is throwing some money towards Trump way, again, you got to look at these guys are billionaires. All of them are billionaires. So if he's getting money thrown at his way, then President-elect Trump is probably going to hold off on talking about any type of ban towards TikTok. Now, I just wanted to kind of give you some historical context behind all of this, right? So, fast forward today, the Supreme Court is holding hearings. And if you listen to the hearings held on today, the Supreme Court is actually, if you listen to the hearings, they're actually in favor of leaning toward banning TikTok. Now, President-elect Trump takes his oath of office on January the 20th. TikTok is banned on January the 19th. So that kind of raises a little bit of suspicion that the hearings are being held now. And again, President-elect Trump has already kind of put it out there. We should hold off on banning TikTok until I get in office, because he's used TikTok for his election, and he's been able to successfully use it, and I guess publish ads and post ads or whatever for his election campaign. But after meeting with Jeff Bezos, I'm kind of like wondering, what is President-elect Trump thinking? Does he want to go forward with the TikTok ban? Because again, the Supreme Court is meeting already. The Supreme Court is, Republican filled right now. It's a conservative Supreme Court. So my thoughts are, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, right? I have no earthly idea, but I'll tell you this. If TikTok is banned on January the 19th, that's going to speak volumes, right? Because I know that there's millions and millions of Americans on TikTok. There are millions of just people on TikTok, period, from America, right? But just look at the business owner aspect. And if you look at the business owner aspect from the creators that are making money off of TikTok, they're going to be greatly impacted. Now, here's what I understand. If the ban goes into effect on January the 19th, like they say, right? If it goes into effect on January 19th, to my understanding, the platform is still going to function to a certain extent. So first thing that's going to happen, they're going to remove the app from all the app stores. So anyone that doesn't have TikTok now will not have access to TikTok at all. That's the first thing that's going to happen, right? So if you don't have it now, you're not going to have access. But those of you that do have TikTok, what's going to happen is if you remain on there and if you still have access, you're going to lose support. So at some point, the application is going to slow down, right? It becomes vulnerable because there's no security patches, right? The app itself can be hacked because, again, you have no security, you have no support. And at some point, that thing is going to slow down and conk out. It's going to bomb out. That's just, I'm in tech, understand. I'm in software application development. That's what happens. If the support leaves, it's going to bomb out and you open yourself up to security risks. I just want to kind of give you a heads up about that. So as a business owner, what should you be actually doing now as a business owner on TikTok, right? You have like thousands and thousands, and some of you have millions of followers. So what should you actually be doing? I know some of you have platforms where you have, other social media platforms, but you got to realize that your other, and I took a look at a couple of businesses on TikTok and look at their other social media platforms. And here's what I noticed. They have more followers on TikTok than they have on any other social media platforms. So what should you be thinking about? Number one, your thought process should be, you should be trying to transition those TikTok followers who you currently have on TikTok to your other social media platforms. So if you have YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram or whatever, or Twitter, or which is known as X now, you should be trying to transfer those individuals over to the other platforms, right? Because some of you are making money off of your followers on those platforms. So you should be trying to get them off of TikTok now onto your other social media platforms. Or or try to push them over to your other social media platforms. And if you want to kind of keep them on TikTok, just to get confirmation that, before you even say, tell them leave TikTok, but just make sure you start to transition them over to the other social media platforms while they also remain on TikTok. Because I'm telling you, if it shuts down on the 19th, at some point, that thing is going to crash. Now, the question really lies, will TikTok sell the business to an American company? I do not know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Do they give in and sell? We have no idea what's going to happen there. But I'm going to tell you, for those of you that have businesses on TikTok, I understand that that's going to tremendously hurt you if this thing shuts down and eventually crashes and burns. So that's what I do not want to happen to you. It's going to be big time, and I can imagine. Oh my God, it's going to be bad. So what some of the things that you could be looking at doing. I talked about transferring those individuals over to your other social media platforms, right? But what else? What else could you be doing to make sure you still take advantage of your followers on TikTok to keep them on, right? Because we do understand that's going to happen, right? That is going to happen. So those of you that have websites, I would try to look at, if you have some of your followers' emails, I would try to reach out to them and do some kind of email marketing campaign to let them know about the other platforms that you are currently on, so that they can you at least have their email, and try to create some kind of campaign on TikTok right now where you capture their email address if you don't currently have it, because you want to make sure you have that. If you don't have their email now, you want to make sure you capture that information. And the other thing that you want to do is that, start, and I talked about the email, but what you also want to do is any products that you are actually marketing to your customers on TikTok, you want to start, creating those product links and start pushing them over to your other platforms, and let them know about those product links that they can purchase from your other platforms, right? That's what you want to start doing now. That's going to be highly important for you to engage that audience and get them over to the other platforms. It's going to be really important, guys. I'm telling you. I just hate to see you lose those followers. That's going to be big time. Now, what I want to do is I want to share this video I was looking at on CNN, right? This is really important for you to listen to this video. I'm going to share it, and I want you to listen to it. This is important, guys. I'm telling you, this is really important for you to listen to this video. And let me go ahead and stop. Let me share the other screen. I shared the wrong one. And I'm going to share right now. And I want you to listen to this video. This is really important here. And I'm going to share it right now. All right, so I'm going to pause here. I'm just going to hit play so you can hear it. And I'm going to turn the speakers up because I want you to hear loud and clear what they're saying here.
Following today's oral arguments, the Supreme Court appears ready to uphold a ban on TikTok that is set to take effect in 9 days. The popular app is used by as many as 170 million users in the U.S.
170 millions on the U.S. Take note of that.
A bipartisan law orders TikTok to shut down in 9 days unless it finds a new owner that is not in China or the Supreme Court takes action.
To give you some background, lawmakers fear that through TikTok, China could acquire Americans' private data or could push propaganda that would sow discord. It's a risk that TikTok's lawyer acknowledged to the 9 justices this morning.
That they would use that information over time to develop spies.
So listen to that. Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh he's already planning and putting it out there, and this is his belief, and this is why President Biden signed this into law. They believe that China is using the data from TikTok to spy. Pay close attention.
Is to turn people, to blackmail people who a generation from now will be working in the FBI or the CIA or in the State Department.
Key. Again, he believes that these individuals are going to be blackmailed. That gives them so much power and access to individuals that they're going to be blackmailing, extorting money out of these people. That's their deep belief as to why they want to get rid of TikTok right now.
Is that not a realistic assessment by Congress and the president of the risks here?
Well, Your Honor, I'm not disputing the risks. I certainly acknowledge the risk, but I think there are lots of reasons, not just the one I just gave, but there are lots of reasons why that risk still can't justify the law.
Yeah, they see it as a big security risk. It's a threat.
Let's get the latest on what happened today with CNN Chief Supreme Court analyst Joan Biskupik. Joan, it looks like the justices are not going to block this ban.
It does, but I've got a couple caveats. No, you could tell that they were with the federal government here in terms of the main motivation. But there are a couple questions. There are actually three. First of all, is this a First Amendment infringement? And once you get past that, has the Congress passed a law that's narrowly tailored to kind of meet its compelling interest to override the First Amendment free speech interest? And then after that, what about timing? Because that did come up here. Could this possibly not take effect on January 19th, which is when it's scheduled to take effect, which of course is a day before President-elect Donald Trump comes in? First of all, on that exchange that you just listened to, there was so much concern about the potential for, Chinese espionage. At one point, the Chief Justice also said, so are we supposed to ignore the fact that the ultimate parent is, in fact, subject to doing intelligence work for the Chinese government? Because TikTok, while an American company, is owned ultimately by ByteDance, which is, headquartered in Beijing. So that was a real concern. But those two grounds that you just mentioned that Congress passed the law based on, the data collection for blackmail and other espionage, and the covert manipulation, it was that latter ground that the justices were really suspicious about. Doesn't everyone know now that TikTok is owned by a Chinese parent company? Wouldn't they know that potentially that there could be some manipulation? So I think the justices might not agree with the government on the extent of the grounds here. So bottom line, it looks like this court is ready to rule against TikTok, but then finally, timing. The question came up of whether there should be some postponement of the effect of the law taking place on January 19th, which is what Congress had dictated when it passed the law back in April. President-elect Donald Trump has said, put a pause on it. TikTok has said, put a pause on it. And the justices started to ask about that. And the Solicitor General of the United States, currently the Biden administration Solicitor General, said, no, if you're going to rule for us based on our national security grounds that it looked like they were ready to buy, there's no reason to say that that would justify any kind of postponement.
So basically what they're saying is that, look, the date is January the 19th. President-elect Trump asked the Supreme Court, or put it out there, they should stall and wait until the transition has happened on January the 20th before they even rule on this. But Biden administration is coming back and saying, no, that shouldn't be a factor. If you're in favor of this, let's go ahead and start a rule on it now. Let's continue on
here. But there seemed to be some sentiment about, should they act when we're in the middle of a transition between administrations, and what would the consequence be if they were to do it that way?
It's going to be so interesting what happens, especially with the timing. Joan, thank you so much for that. Sure. We do appreciate it. Following today's.
So you heard it. You heard it loud and clear. So what's going to happen? I have no idea, right? We have no idea what's going to happen, but I can tell you this. TikTok, my hunch tells me, because there's money behind this. There's Amazon, right? I'm pretty sure Amazon has their money tied in this somehow. And what I'm saying with that, right? Jeff Bezos owns Amazon, right? He's going to put some money, and he wants to ensure that TikTok is banned in America. Why? Again, because of TikTok Shop. And he does not want TikTok Shop to be his competitor. They're competition for, Amazon. If you go out there and look at some of TikTok Shop prices and you compare the prices between TikTok Shop and Amazon, TikTok Shop is giving Amazon a run. I've ordered things off of TikTok Shop myself. I know that some of the products are cheaper. I'm telling you. So again, that's Jeff Bezos' competition. Again, he just met with President Trump a couple weeks ago, right? So you can pretty much read between the lines and see where all of this is going, people. I'm telling you, it's inevitable. I'm telling you, I think it's going to happen. I think TikTok Shop is going to be banned. Again, really the key is, are they going to be sold to an American company? That's what we don't know. We have to sit around and figure it out. But I can tell you, business owners, I highly encourage you to have a plan right now. Have your plan in place, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you are making a lot of money on TikTok. And if you are currently making money on TikTok, look, you have to. It is imperative. It's imperative that you absolutely put your plan in place now on how you're going to continue to be in contact with your followers. And I can tell you now, I can tell you there are a lot of companies out there right now, right? And I'm not speaking, bad on behalf of any business or anything like that, but there are some companies out there for the TikTok business owners that are out there. There's some companies that would love to have you pretty much, come in and be employed with them. And I can tell you, a lot of you have been, on your own for years and years, and you have not worked for anyone. You haven't had the time or just you've been afforded the opportunity to work for yourself. And I absolutely do not want you to go back, and after you've been so long on by yourself so long, I don't want you to go back and work for any company, right? And so I can imagine there are companies that are sitting there waiting and thinking, okay, we're going to have a bunch of TikTok Shop business owners that are at some point they're going to lose their revenue and they're going to be looking for jobs. And that's what some companies are thinking, right? Because you're talented. A lot of you have good marketing skills. A lot of you have good sales skills, right? You have so many design skills. You have so many great skills that companies could really use you. But for your sake, for your absolute sake, I encourage you to put your plan in place, because again, I do not want to see you working for any other company unless that's truly your desire to go out there and work for someone else. Unless that's truly your desire. I really, truly, and deeply mean that. I don't want to see you work for someone else. But so please put your plan in place and get that taken care of, good people. Put your plan in place. So let's get that taken care of. One of the things I also know about this whole TikTok ban, guys, is that TikTok, one of the things I feel strongly about too, TikTok, although they may not want to sell to an American company, they're going to be losing billions of dollars, right? Because they're losing all the individuals in America. But then there's another flip side to me that tells me, okay, they've already got everyone's data. They already have their contact information. They have their email addresses and some aspect phone numbers. They got a lot of information already. So with TikTok already having that information at their disposal, who's to say they won't create another app, which I think will happen. They could possibly create another app, right? And I've heard rumors out there that there's another form of TikTok that they're talking about coming up with, and then they pretty much transfer all of those users over to the new app. That's a great possibility also, because it positions them and puts them in a position where they don't lose control. So they could fairly more than well likely that the app let this app crash and just kind of push you over to a new app. And that can very well happen. So I've seen and read some reports that could very well happen. I don't want to speak on it too much because I don't have the factual, concrete data to support that. But just saying that it's been put out there that they can very well flip all the users over to a new app. Because the other side of me tells me that, although, that's an opportunity for them to sell to an American company, they're not going to do it. I think they'll flip over to another app before they even consider or do that. That's what I think will happen. So yeah, I just wanted to come talk to you guys on this Friday evening about this TikTok ban that's been talked about all day today, and I'm just going to sit and wait. So if January 19th TikTok stops and they no longer is operating, and no one has access to the app in the store anymore, and the current users remain on until the app crashes and burn. I'm just put it out there again for security purposes. You want to stop using it, business owners, because you're going to have a lot of people that get access to your information, and that's what you don't want, because the hackers will come out. But other than that, thank you guys. Have a great evening, and subscribe to our channel. We're going to be going to more lives. We're going to be also releasing a lot of products this year. I just want to let guys know about two of our product releases that most recently happened. We released two actual websites most recently. One is donorwatch.org. This application gives pretty much election transparency to see where the actual money has been contributed to political campaigns, to elected officials, right? So you can go to that website, look those elected officials up, to which elected officials receive money. So what you can do is, let's say you can key in the zip code, and I'll show it to you right quick, right? Just so you guys are aware of it. Let me share it with you. And I just want you to actually see it. And so I'm going to click here right quick just so you can see it. All righty. So let's go here, and I'm just going to go to donorwatch.org, and it's coming up now. Oops. Sorry, I keyed in the wrong thing. Good people. I can't type today. Sorry. All right. And this is the website. Just want to let you guys know I'm on the website. And oops, did I accidentally close the website? What did I do, good people? Okay, sorry. I accidentally moved it over. So this is the website, and what you have the opportunity to do, you can look up and see who contributed to a political campaign, right? And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to key in President-elect Trump, right? And so this is his campaign, and what you get the opportunity to do, you have the opportunity to search by donor name, but you can leave that blank also, because if you sit there and search by donor name, it's going to take a long time to search. You can look the individuals up by zip code and or city and state, right? And so what I'm going to do is put in Atlanta, Georgia, right? And I'm going to put in the state, Georgia. Whoops. All right. And I had an Atlanta. Actually left it out. And so what you can do is search. Actually, let's look up people who gave to President-elect Trump's campaign by employer. So let's say if I wanted to just search for individuals who work at Home Depot. So what this search criteria did is going to search for individuals in the Atlanta, Georgia area who gave to President-elect Trump's campaign who work at Home Depot. Now you can remove the Home Depot filter out, remove the employer filter out, and just look for everyone who gave to his campaign in Atlanta. You had the opportunity to do that. And so what this is showing me, the individuals who gave to President-elect Trump's campaign. This individual gave $250. He gives his name. It gives his employer, of course. I'd say Home Depot, and he's working the marketing area, right? And he gave like $250, right? So I'm going to close that out. And I'm just going to show you some other features here. And I'm not going to stay here too long. I'm just going to take Home Depot out. And I'm going to pretty much clear President-elect Trump's name and put in Kamala Harris, right? And Harris for the people. And I'm going to leave in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm just going to hit search, right? And so what it's doing now is looking for individuals who've contributed to Kamala Harris, and it's actually searching now, and it came up. And so if I scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see that there's like 1,090 entries, right? And so these are a list of people that gave to Kamala Harris. And so I click on their name, right? And it gives the individual's name, tells you where they reside, and it gives you their occupation and gives their employer, right? And so it gives the year-to-date contribution. So if I click on Open Document, what happens, it opens a PDF. It takes you to the Federal Election Commission's website and opens a PDF and showing the actual documentation of the individual giving the actual contributions on the PDF document. And so the reason why it took you to the Federal Elections Commission's website is because the API that I'm using is from the Federal Election Commission's website. And I decided to create this website because I wanted to create a more user-friendly website that allow individuals to look up the contributions made to political campaigns. The one on the federal election website, it has so many search options, and I felt like it was just like convoluted with a lot of information. And I was like, look, let me just streamline this, create a shorter, more simplified version for an average person who wants to go out there and search for this type of data. And that's what I did. I just took their API and built a more user-friendly website. And that's what we did here. We have another product also that we most recently released, and it's called mycareratings.com. And this website, right, this was created for the simple fact that I had, my mother-in-law was in nursing home. We recently lost her on last year. But before she went into a nursing home, we were looking for nursing homes who were highly rated, and we had to just do some Google searches, right? And I was like, man, I just wish I had the opportunity to pretty much just key in a zip code or a city and state to find highly qualified nursing homes. And so this website was created for after she had passed away, and I thought about it, and I had the site created. So I got the API from CMS's website, and I took their API and again created a more user-friendly website that allows you to search for that type of information, right? So again, let's say if I want to search for highly qualified nursing homes just in Georgia, right? And I'm just going to leave it blank for any rating. So I'm going to hit search. And what it's doing now is going through, looking through the whole entire website of the nursing homes, right? And so as you can see, I see the combination of 5 stars, I see the 1 star and the 3 stars. So it searched for the whole entire state for nursing homes. You know, you also have the opportunity to just sort it by 5 stars or 4 stars for that matter, or 3 stars for the sorting feature. You have that option. You also, again, there's also gave people the opportunities to not only search for nursing homes, they can search for home health care, same criteria, right? So I'm just going to use Georgia for my search. And again, it pulls up all the home health care agencies in Georgia. If you want to just strictly, do it by hospitals, you have that option too. You can search by hospital. And so what I'm doing now is searching by all the hospitals in Georgia. And so it pulls up the list of hospitals. And so you have an option to say, let's say if you want to search by only 5 stars, I'm just going to sort it by 5 stars, looking for 5-star hospitals in Georgia. And again, it brings up the 3 5-stars, right? And if I want to sort it by 4-star hospitals, I have that option to sort by 4 4-star hospitals. So again, you have 3 types you can search for: hospitals, home healthcare agencies, or nursing homes. You can actually perform that search by. So just wanted to give you the heads up about those 2 product releases that we have to share. But other than that, thank you guys for your time, and just hope that you have a wonderful evening. And again, subscribe to our channel so that you do not miss out on any of our product releases or of our upcoming videos. I want to make sure that you're informed of every product release that we have and all of our video releases. Hope you have a great evening.